So what have you been up to this week?
What have we been up to, Craig? Where have we been?
We're at Dave Pantry's last week, having a good scout round. That has been, you've been bad then the last couple of days.
Not really.
But,
Big, but not.
They met somebody today, didn't you? The Colt car park. You were waiting for you to come out and see the truck. I don't know if you remember, we did a piece on my blood pressure, and I went checked it, and it was through the roof, and I just sort of turned 60. Anyway, this bloke waited for Martin to come back out, and he introduced himself. Says, I follow you. Says, I watched what you'd said on blood pressure and that, and you should just keep it checked once you get. He went and checked his, and it was through the roof. Absolutely. So he went to the doctors. He's on medication now, and it's sorted. But he says he just waited to thank him. Really, thank us
because nice.
All about you, Craig, having sky high blood pressure. You might have saved somebody.
Well, that's the thing, though, isn't it? Stuff like that, you've got to constantly keep one eye on it as it creeps up on you.
It's a silent killer.
Yeah.
The blood pressure, you don't know. You've got it, really. So, because his face was used and he had bad tempers all the time. So, yeah, I think that was a good sign, Craig.
I don't think that's a sign that doctors use.
No, but I use it.
But if it's better out than in, though, I think the doctors would better out than in your sort of stress levels.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, you're better off knowing.
You need to know.
Sorting it.
You need to know.
So it hasn't been that busy week, has it, Craig?
No,
as we head into winter.
We've got some things coming up at the weekend. We're going to the David Brown Museum. We've been invited to David Brown Museum.
Nice.
Have a look around there, some filming, and then another mate of mine and a mate of Tony Spencer's. He's one of the on the committee at the David Brown Museum. He's got tractors. He's only 6 miles away, so we're going to go see them while we're there. While we're only 6 miles away, so he's got some really interesting tractors. They've got the. I'm going to bore you a little bit, but the David Brown tractor. They've got the original experimental 1412, which is 1412 iron shift. And Mick ended up with the 1410 standard gearbox experimental tractor. So there's those two tractors, which we're going to be seeing at weekend.
Brilliant.
Can I hardly contain myself?
And then on Saturday, we're going to another chap I know called James Ratcliffe, and he's going to show us a large collection of Ford tractors, Series 10 tractors, some internationals, and then an old school. I think it's a 2001 Volvo loading shovel, which I'm going to have a go on, which I haven't used them before, but so we're going to go see that on Saturday.
Right.
So quite a lot going on.
Yeah, wall-to-wall tractors. Did you see the Sheffins sale? I don't know where it was, but it was a bunch of old Fords.
No, we went to the previous one at Harrogate, didn't we, Craig?
Yeah.
We've still got a lot of tractors that we've done to go on our site yet from there. There was some lovely tractors.
Was there was it a Ford collection?
It was, but they all looked. I was looking because I know you're fixated on finding the Ford. What is it? Synchro 2100 Synchro. I've been paying attention. So now I'm looking for it everywhere, and I might put out a shout locally to see if anyone knows of any in existence. But yeah, I just caught a glimpse of that. I'm trying to keep abreast of all the tractor stuff, and it's just such a big topic, right? And to understand it. To get it to sink in. I want someone to let me have a go and like drive a tractor at some point soon.
Yeah.
But I'm also looking at loads of other topics in agriculture. So for the benefit of anyone listening in, we've gone off on a ramble, which is easy to do with you two guys, isn't it? It's like a conversation that goes in many different directions.
Yeah, we tend to just drift off and who knows where we're going to end up.
Well, it doesn't matter, does it?
Know where we're going to end up.
I mean, we're happy to cover tractors, farm animals, politics. We've got views on all those things, quite strong, some of them.
Hello and welcome to Past Your Bedtime. My name's Bev. On the last episode, I introduced you to the Blakey Brothers. Martin and Craig Blakey have worked in and around the farming community since they were in their teens. If you're listening to this podcast for the first time, stop and go back to the previous episode to hear from them how it all began. You'll have heard just how easy they are to talk to, and being brothers, there's always a fair bit of mickey taking. Craig's blood pressure being one such example. There's more than one clip on their YouTube account where Martin delights in winding Craig up, especially when he's busy. I think it was these videos that had me hooked right from the beginning. But you'll also see just how passionate they are about farming and their frustrations around getting things done in the face of bureaucracy. On today's episode, you'll rejoin us where the conversation continued on to talk about the current political situation and the difficulties and questions that many have about where we're headed and who's running the asylum. They're not the first to shake their heads in despair, but at a time in their lives when you'd think they might be slowing down a bit, Martin and Craig have discovered a way of sharing those questions via social media, as well as entertaining their growing following with clips on barn finds, tractor history, local characters, and a love for wildlife and country ways. You join us with Martin berating the current crop of politicians for their lack of integrity and his fears for the future.
So I watched one farmer on social media, 3 generations, built up a pedigree herd. It showed you him, his cows off to market, last lorry load going, threw his keys on table, said that's it, done, and it can't make any money. So why? When they did the inheritance tax, Starmer stood up in Parliament and said, look, I'm all for farmers and helping them. So much so that I put 5 billion aside to help them. Well, you speak to any farmer and ask them if they've seen any of that 5 billion. What they need is a fund in place, either through a grant. So if a farmer like this chap struggling because of milk prices, they can say, right, this is a forecast. We'll give you a grant of this much to tide you over, stop you selling your farm and keep going instead of sending it all abroad. But they don't do that. That'd be a great thing to do because it would tide them over. But there's, why are any people on the, in the industry thinking of that and doing that? It'd be easy to do.
But the problem is, Matt, you could do that. Well, they haven't got the ability. It would still have to be facilitated by civil servants.
That's what I'm saying. They can't do it.
Most of which, like working from home, when you work from home, you don't get half done what you should get done. Because you're off into the kitchen for a slice of cake, cup of tea, or a let dog out. You don't work productively from home. Everybody should work in the bloody office, shouldn't they?
Yeah, that's
half the trouble. So even if they got that set up, you'd need some real people to facilitate that, not some wishy-washy wasters that they're employed now.
But the 5 billion, no farmer will see any of that. 5 billion, but I forget the farming minister is now. She's so insignificant.
I can't remember.
She's hopeless. Probably haven't been on a farm ever. They should be instigating this because what they don't show you is when he's done, it's the mental health. Then afterwards, it's not just him. It's his family. It's his kids.
Yeah,
it's the school. It's everything connected with that family is ruined.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a social, the mental side. When their dinner's gone, that they don't show that. When them cows have all gone, they mean a lot to them. When they bought these herds on, generations herds, they mean a lot to them.
Yeah.
To take them to market and see them sold to somebody else, herds, they don't get that.
And what they don't get is next morning when that fella goes out, they get up, they'll go into the yard. There's no noise.
Silence.
Silence. There's no cows mowing. There's nothing. All that's gone. And that in London don't get that. They just don't care. They don't care. They don't get it because they haven't the ability to get it.
No.
They're just sat there with a pair of bloody blinkers on. Well, a lot of people get it. We get it. And a lot of farmers that know other farmers get how hard it is when they get rid of these cows. Because they do think so much of them.
Yeah. I reckon somebody's going to grab hold of this topic over and above, like the Clarkson effect.
Somebody's got to give. Yeah, somebody has to give.
But make a documentary or a series about it, really showing the underbelly of what's going on in farming. And
to show, to do a documentary of somebody who's had to get rid of cows.
Yeah.
And what it's like, not just for a school day, I think for 6 months.
I think the man for that's Clarkson.
Yeah,
I do. I think because people would watch it, you see.
Yeah.
It's no good one. It has to be somebody like him who people know will tell the truth.
Yeah.
Don't want to be a soft soaping thing about.
No.
It has to be hard hitting and cut to core
and not scripted.
Yeah.
Not scripted at all. It's got to be just as it is, and it's raw. Bit like raw milk. It's got to be exactly like that.
I mean, it wouldn't do any good with this government because they don't listen. They don't care. It won't do any good. But I mean, something will give eventually because. But it's all things from supermarkets controlling prices. It's everything. The government needs to step up and do something about it.
We are on a precipice now. We are just, yeah, you can tell.
Yeah,
It's coming up to edge now where people can't be pushed and pulled much.
They can't be pushed much more. That's right.
Everybody's absolutely sick and fed up to back teeth of the way that they're carrying on and the way that all organisations are carrying on from top to bottom, even down to councils. Nobody's making it easy. They're all making it difficult. And I don't know why they're making it difficult, but they are.
But how many industries do you know where they're happy to work and not make a profit?
None.
Farmers do that.
It just doesn't work.
If you set a house builder, look, it's going to cost you 180 grand to build that, but you'll have to sell it for 170. There'll be no houses. But yet farmers are asked to do that year after year after year. It's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
It always used to be with some crops. Yeah, it was a bit hit and miss. Sometimes, like with vegetables, that it could be it could either be a fortnight in Spain or a weekend in Scarborough. It just depended on the year, really, how it all panned out, and that's just how it is. It's maybe still a little bit like that now.
Well, I watched a farmer the other day he put a post on Facebook, and he said 30 years ago wheat was £130 a ton. 30 years ago, he said today it's £170 a ton. But fuel has gone up 12 times what it was 30 years ago, as has everything else.
Yeah.
Well, that way, he said, how can that possibly be working? It can't. It can't work.
House about face.
So something, like Craig says, we're on a precipice. Not just farmers, everybody's being, I mean, the budget's coming up, it's going to hurt again, I think. Everybody's being screwed up. It's something they'll give. I mean, I'm not sure Starmer will last till Christmas. If he lasts till Christmas, I think he'll be gone by May when the local elections come. Because Nigel Farage is going to march through Wales, Scotland, everywhere, and he'll be forced to resign. That I believe. I stand to be corrected, but then what we got, David Lammy, my God.
Oh my God.
He hasn't got a clue.
Utterly
How
useless.
can that be our
Utterly useless.
You know, it's just ridiculous.
I mean, I said about some councillors one day, I said, if they'd have put a cardboard cutout in foyer to offices, they'd have probably achieved more than they would have done in person. And that's how it is. And that's likewise with some of that. Look, stick a cardboard cutout there, they'd achieve probably exactly the same.
Well, I mean, if you look at Labour, they know they're done. If they're after 5 years, they're done. They know that they're done. If you look at then the Liberals, you've got Ed Davey. It's just a clown, isn't he? You know, he thinks women can have a penis. You know, he's done. You've got the Green, what's he called? Zach Lansky.
Yeah.
The leader of the Green Party.
Oh,
Do you know what his previous job was before he became leader?
I think I do know, but I've forgotten.
Tell you, this is how ridiculous it is. He used to sell himself as a hypnotist who could make ladies' breasts grow bigger by hypnotising them.
no.
And he charged them a fortune.
skill.
What is in charge of the
He's leader of the Green Party. So that's them. Then you've got Conservatives, they're fourth in polls, they're done, they know they're done. They've had 14 years, blew it. That leaves Reform, who I think, well, the mile's clear. How good they'll be for farming, I don't know. I think they'll be okay. I think the only problem is what you wouldn't want him to do, because he's a big friend of Trump's, is you won't want a free trade deal with America, because all that would do, it would flood England with beef, American beef. A lot of that is hormone fed. They try to filter it out, but load still comes through. That's hormone loaded.
But American farmers are up against exactly the same issue with competition and imports from Brazil and Argentina and China, I think.
Yeah, until that stops, it's the same thing. The people at the very top are making all money, and farmers at bottom, they're being screwed to the floor.
Every time. It's always been like that, though.
Yeah, it has.
It's always been like that.
It has. But I mean, I'm sure we could come and talk again after budget, Craig, or you know, if we get hard winter, we could do another one, and there'll be a load more stuff to come, Bev.
Absolutely. I think there always is.
Various agencies, how they perform with the waterways and things like that. I mean, it drives you mad. To be fair, it drives me senseless.
Yeah.
the way that they carry on and the amount of time it takes them to do things and how lethargic they are in their facilitation of
Terrible
schemes and everything. They're just, nothing gets done.
But there is a reason for that, is that none of them people in any of those agencies have to meet a target end at week.
They're
You
not
work for another
accountable.
business, your job is you have to make money for this business. In a council, you know, you can make tea all week and you don't have to make money. You'll get paid and you've no targets to meet whatsoever, have you, Craig?
No, and you'll be assessed on all sorts of things, and you'll have loads of training days, jollies, because that's how it works.
The amount of times I've emailed somebody at Selby who I'm dealing with on a certain issue to get a bounce back, I'm on a training day or I'm on leave till Thursday. What are you doing? What are they doing?
Everybody's on leave.
And then you don't get a reply.
You know, whether it's forgotten then.
You don't get a reply. And what they won't do, they won't reply if you know that you're going to have them on back foot. And that's Craig's a very specialist subject.
I mean, that irrigation job that we took on for hoses. I mean, the
field irrigation.
The way they perform then, the way the rules
Terrible.
are, it's all wrong. Rules are completely stacked against the farmer for the noise pollution. And
it's wrong.
And them lot, whatever council, they'll always follow those rules. So we're bound by these rules.
We'll change them.
And he said, well, I can find you a million people who all agree with this. And then what did Block say?
So he says, I could. I says, if I put this out a film on this, I said, we'd get hundreds of thousands of people agreeing with us that you're wrong about trying to prosecute this farmer. He said, yeah. He said, but if I put a video out, he said, I'd get 100 other people doing my job agreeing with me. I said, 100 people. Of course you would, because you're all on gravy train.
All the same.
Yeah, no. The absolute. Haven't got a clue. And that's a problem. You know,
it's a big problem going forward, is that the lack of understanding, and lack of understanding for the farm, how it operates, and just thinking that it's not a council. You can't just go out and buy something, or if he's going to go out and buy another generator or something, that's probably about 30 grand and a pump.
You don't look at that.
They just think you can go and buy that, but they want to look at accounts.
I think the banks,
the
banks are waking up to the issues and now seeing a lot more marketing around the specialist lending available. So I don't know enough about it to know how they're going to achieve that for the farmers, but it feels like, as an outsider from the industry looking in and trying to get into it, that there's more of a waking into the issues, and people who aren't involved in farming want to do the right thing to support it, whether that's buying locally or just getting involved in the discussion. Sometimes with news developments, I'd rather not watch any of it to not get bogged down in the sort of the bad news. But other times you want to find out as much as you can because you're so bloody passionate about it.
A lot of these departments don't talk to each other. That's from government, councils. So I mean, what they could do. So they're on about getting nutrition into schools. You know, and I think they've opened a breakfast club, haven't they? What they don't tell you, with that breakfast club, I think some of the schools are getting equivalent of about 14 pence per child, right? Which is nothing.
Less than a prisoner, probably.
But they're, we've started breakfast club. Why aren't they thinking, hang on a minute, a lot of local produce gets dumped because they can't sell it. Why don't we link in with local farmers within, say, 20 miles of that school, buy produce off them, help them survive? That'd be a great initiative. Well, I think of it. No, and the reason for that is not one person in any of them quangos has ever run a business, have they, Craig?
Which is why they can't bring anything to fruition, pardon the pun.
It's like Craig said, only thing most of them will ever finish is a dinner. You know.
Well, the only thing they'll ever start is a dinner. And that's probably because somebody else has bought it.
It's true. It's so true. They are. You know, that it's terrible. These quangos. You know, we did a film the other day, said, I wonder what interview was like to go get a job there. Right, are you happy to walk about with a thing round your neck? Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Are you happy to probably have a training day once a week? We When we say training day, it's basically a day off. Yeah, I can do that. And do you know anything about highways? Yeah, I'd do a bit of driving, right? Welcome aboard. There's your job. That's as ridiculous.
A career in the
It's-
council's beckoning for you, Martin.
Yeah,
I mean-
they won't want me on council, trust me.
The road closure that we've had around here.
Oh,
the-
Christ, Craig.
One closed for a month, and there's some fence work to do. And I literally thought they were doing a lot. It was shorting it over on,
Yeah,
probably a bit longer than a month. They did about bloody 20 yards.
Yeah.
Put some piling in,
a month.
and it's not finished. They haven't even put fence back up. I mean, honestly, it beggars belief. Where's proper gaffers that they used to have years ago? Back in the day, you'd have a load of blokes with flat caps, they'd be grafting away, and then there'd be a gaffer come, he'd have a trilby on at the top kite. Everybody knew what they're doing. They'd bring everything for heel, and it was sorted out.
Yeah.
None of that. They all look bloody same now. So grafters look same as blokes who are looking after the job. And they're frightened about telling anybody that they've done it wrong because it might upset them.
No, what you tend to find, Craig, is gaffer. You usually see him sat in a lay-by-night job. It usually like a Vauxhall Cavalier
Yeah.
with his thing on with a clipboard, and then he walk back doing a bit of stuff. Then he walk back, but all health and safety stuff.
But would you want this? I mean, would you want to be doing? Would you not want it done differently? Would you want something to get on and say, "Bah, we've made it crack today. We've made this happen. We're well ahead of schedule."
No.
But they don't. They just dribble along, and it's so destroying to see it. And it's just all it's doing is you can just see it all from like you said, an outsider looking in with everything. We found it. It's just pulling country down.
Yeah,
Further into Maya, and it's not just one thing; it's a load of things all joined up together, and that's what's.
It's like I tell farmer Dave Pantry made a good point. We went to filming.
The
He
guy
said-
with all
he
the
said-
ploughs.
Yeah, he said he sees the country as a business.
Yeah.
Should be a bottom line, and we've made a profit this year. He said that's how it should be, but nobody's making any profit. Nobody's making everybody. I mean, just going off on a tangent about cafes. So I saw a lady on a cafe. She said, with the national insurance,
Like employers,
Employers,
she
national
said
insurance
she has 3
contributions.
small cafes.
Hmm.
She said when everything went up and everything, she said it's costing her an extra £38,000 a year. So she said it's just easy for me to shut and do that. She said you don't even make that. So what's the point?
Yeah.
What she said I would have to sell. She worked out. She said to break even on one cafe, I'd have to sell 400 croissants a day. She said, do you know how hard that is to do? She said,
Yeah.
you don't do it. She said it's.
No.
So it's not just farmers, it's every industry. They're being screwed down.
and this is purely because a lot of those lot have not been in business, so they don't know how hard it is and what you've got to do at the end of the day to make a crust. And I think that's where the problem is.
I think we touched on this before, we've been about all the money to send abroad as well.
Yeah.
Which is sort of, you know, for farms. You know, what Clarkson said this, he said, look after your own first. If there's any money left, yes, help farmers in poorer countries. But
Yeah.
we don't. What we're
You
doing,
can't-
we're sending 536 million a year to Africa, Asia, South America. So Brazil, they're sending them millions to help rural farmers grow produce in a carbon-free atmosphere. Now, bearing in mind, Brazil are the 11th richest country in the world. So why are we doing that?
Why are we doing that then, man?
Why are we doing that? And also,
And would you think that'll go to the right place?
well, we all know when it gets, by the time it's gone through all departments, how much of that will farmers get? And here's another country that's obviously as straight as an arrow, Rwanda. Okay. 19 million to Rwanda to help them try and grow tea for first time. Never grown tea in Rwanda, but so we'll give them 19 million. It'll filter all through government departments and there'll be about £1 left to grow tea. That's how it works. But some of that 19 million should be staying here and helping these dairy farmers that are going bust.
I was going to say, that money should be in this country, helping your man who chucked his keys on the table.
Exactly.
That's it, I've done. As his car was just left down
Oh,
the
yeah.
cart track. That's
Yeah.
what they should be doing. And why is it that we all know that?
I mean, 90 million, £100,000 grant to this farmer to tide him over for a year. Look, use this. Well, while it's so tight, use this to survive. No, don't do it. But that's what needs to change. And I don't think it ever will, Craig, will it? Unless,
Not for a while. So
unless we can get in government, Craig.
well, so
Well, at least get on to question time or something like that.
Yeah,
And surely it must.
be a pantry for PM. 2 people said that.
The problem is with question time. They won't let you speak if you say stuff like that. They'll cut you dead. They don't want people who know what they're talking about and tell truth on question time. What's she called? Who does that? What's
Fiona Bruce.
Fiona Bruce.
Oh,
Just-
Fiona.
She's so left wing. It's ridiculous.
I have a serious point now.
Well,
Yeah.
And yeah, we've covered some quite heavy topics. So, Craig, really, this one's for you. Cyclists, discuss.
Cyclists that drive me bloody mad.
really?
They absolutely drive me mad.
Really?
We're coming. Well, I've seen a few videos. They're coming through Fenton the other day, in truck actually, and they will not pull over. They'll side by side, and if they see an area where they could maybe just ease up, they won't. So you're driving all the way through village and
Behind them.
village behind them. They won't, and the carload of cars behind you. The bikes have got a set of brakes on, and you can slow down. And you know what? You can even stop on them. And what really annoys me is if, say, you've got some cars
No,
parked.
don't do that because that'll
Sorry.
turn us off. All right.
Touch
Cars
now.
parked there. You're overtaking cars. Load of cars. You get
Can't see them, Craig.
right. You get all the way by them, nearly past them, and then bikes come. They don't stop. They'll
Ah.
just keep coming and just expect you to stop and pull up. And that's wrong. Some of them are all right, but by God, I know a lot of farmers who absolutely detest them because they won't, and they make it dangerous because they won't ease over to let this big
They
machine
make out you're
by.
in brother as well, Craig.
Yeah.
They should
They've given them a few extra rules, highway code for push bikes, haven't they? They think
Yeah.
they do anything. Think they just get parked up on seat and just go wherever they want, do whatever they want. And if you're slightly in the way, you
got the shouting and bawling.
and they're shouting and bawling.
Yeah,
Just
they've all
looks-
got little
It
cameras
looks
on there.
depressing. There's some good bikers, but there's some arrogant people about.
Yeah, there
their
is,
own
yeah.
bikes.
Yeah, there is. But yeah, apart from that, you're not bad with them, are you?
Well, it's just
Quite
all
quite
wrong, innit?
tolerant.
It's all
Yeah,
wrong. They'll cause an accident. They will
Yeah.
cause an accident.
But they
Yeah,
have
that
to.
is.
Yeah, but it won't be their fault. It won't ever be their fault. Just something that again that wants addressing.
I saw
Just use a bit of common sense.
saw a video today. Actually, it was a lady on a bike. It was on a single track road. She'd got off and put it on the stand, across road like that. It was like a back road, wasn't it? And she was on prone.
Yeah, yeah.
And somebody in a John Deere tractor had pulled up and gave her a pick to move it. And she didn't move it. He carried on phone, wouldn't move it. So he just sat there anyway. In the end, he lost his space. He just drove over it. Just crushed it. That's what you need to do.
Yeah,
So she'll move it now.
probably right.
She'll move it now.
Yeah.
It was just bent, mangled piece of metal.
Just give way.
Just be
give way.
courteous.
Be courteous. And just have a bit of common sense. And don't forget, don't be frightened to use them things there. It's like that, and pull the handles, and that slows you up. You need to stop. You can even stop. Easy.
There
Oh,
you go.
guys,
How's that?
listen, it's been lovely to chat to you, to catch up with you. I think, as predicted, we would fill this time, and I'm probably going to end up cutting this into a couple of episodes. I don't quite know where the break point is.
Oh, we're a lot more
But-
to go. We've a lot more to go.
Yeah, you have, and it's so good to see what you're doing, and the variety of the topics and the characters that you talk to. You know, young and old, guys with old equipment, beautifully restored tractors. I completely geek out when I see those tractors and want to learn as much as I can as possible.
Yeah.
Don't know how useful that's going to be for me, but you know, part of this experience for me is learning, you know, why farmers do what they do, why people are involved in it and passionate about it, and there's no denying the pair of you your passion for it. Hope you can stay positive and keep your blood pressure in.
All aspects of
Keep your blood pressure in check.
But old hands, talking to these old hands. I mean, there's nothing to beat talking to these old lads.
I know.
And they've got it all weighed up. I mean, some of them, that if they can get away with it within 2 words rather than 3, they will. But by God, they make 2 words that they say count.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. These old hands, and they know it. They're good.
And I just noticed, maybe you've a very quality, stylish hat over your right shoulder.
Oh, yes. Well, 2 lovely guys gave me that.
That's they don't come cheap. They're much sought after those hats. Blakey Brothers hats, perfect.
It's been worn a few times. And thank you so much. Wear it with pride. What other merch have we got to look forward to?
We're gonna do some. Obviously, it takes, we need somebody to do all that for us. So we've got Dan, my youngest, sorts on that. So we're looking at beanies next for the winter, beanie hats. So that they'll be coming with a thing across there, like a thin-insulate beanie, nice and warm. So that'll be next within the next couple of weeks. I would hope.
Well, we have a thing about it. Right instead of this is look. We're going to go shopping. Hey, get you some. What do you say? Tattersall shirts. I've got loads of shirts. I got all my shirts from charity shop. That quid.
Right. Because they get mucky, right?
Pardon?
Because they get mucky doing what you do. They get filthy.
Nice best ones as well. I mean, they never some of them come with a quote, but you just buy them. I mean, when Martin buys his shirts, they come in a box. Don't they? That's the thing. His shirts come in a box, but I'm not bothered about labour. If you buy a shirt in winter time, it don't matter what it looks like, because you always have a jumper on anyway.
It's clean.
Summer, Craig. You've got bloody skins on than an onion sometimes. Is that bloody right up? It's red hot, don't you? But anyway, that's why we're different.
I'm not knocking with a cold, am I?
That's why we're different. I caught it off you. So now it's far again, tell me you undercover. But yeah, I think it works because we're different. We're totally different.
Yeah, it's a fresh perspective.
On Radio York said it works because of how natural it is. Really, there's nothing. We're not there with a piece of paper looking at what to say under. It's all there, just off the cuff, and you can just read it off, can't you? And it works.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But but that's time flies. But that's good. But like we just said, Bev, there's more to come. I'm sure we can do a part 2 at some point.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
3 and 4.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm cracking on with it. I'll wrap up this this conversation so that the listener or the 3 listeners I've got can know that it's time to go and put the kettle on. But thank you very, very much for sharing your world with me, letting me come and ask my daft questions, and
fine. We've enjoyed it.
It's just terrific.
Yeah, right. Lovely.
Enjoyed it. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, guys.
To be fair, it's just been like talking it pub. To be honest, and that's how it should be.
Yeah.
That's how it wants to come across, isn't it?
Perhaps that's how we should do the next one.
Yeah. Now you're talking. No, that's brilliant. Thanks, Bev.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, love you guys. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, man. See you
Bye.
later. Bye.
Bye. Thanks again to Martin and Craig Blakey for spending some time with me. You can find all their content on various social channels under the Blakey Brothers. I'll share some links in the show notes. And if you enjoyed listening to this podcast, please like or subscribe or leave me a review. Thanks for listening, and if it is past your bedtime, then perhaps it's time to turn in. Until next time.